What's going on, y'all? So in this video, I want to talk about the Enneagram Type 9 confronting the uncomfortable truth. Excuse me, y'all, I bit my lip earlier. But anyway, so the Enneagram Type 9 is also known as the arbitrator or the peacemaker. They're known for their common composed nature. They have a natural ability to bring people together and to create harmony. However, this tendency to prioritize peace, it can sometimes lead to a darker reality for them, because they'll have a tendency to ignore the truth. So the Type 9 arbitrator can be so focused on maintaining peace and harmony that they'll have a tendency to sweep the difficult realities and the harsh truths under the rug. And they might even avoid confrontation or difficult conversations because they don't want to disturb their peace. So this is kind of like the other side of keeping that peace. It's a false sense of peace. So the Type 9s in particular, they have a natural inclination to avoid conflict, which can lead to a pattern of ignoring truth. And today, the conflict that I'm focusing on is the internal conflict, not so much the conflict between relationships, because I feel like the first relationship you have, it starts with yourself. So when it comes to arbitration and resolving conflicts, those are the first conflicts that need to be resolved. And this avoidance of that conflict can stem from a deep-seated fear of loss or separation. When the Type 9 is confronted with these uncomfortable truths, they might feel like their sense of security is threatened. So they'll avoid the issue altogether, and they'll want to focus on maintaining whatever false sense of peace they have. But in that failing to confront or to ignore that truth, it can lead to more damage in the long run. So by when they do this consistently, they're doing a disservice to themselves and the others around them. Mainly to themselves, though, because it affects their own personal growth. So what we're doing when we do this, is what a Type 9 is doing when they're doing this is they're saying that their feelings aren't valid and their concerns aren't valid, and that creates a negative snowball effect. So not only does that avoidance hurt you, it also stunts your development. So it can leave you feeling anxious, it can leave you feeling uncertain, it can leave you feeling trapped, like within your own life. You might struggle from feelings of resentment or bitterness because you're not addressing. And basically, if you're really honest with yourself, you would know that you are living a lie, right? So that can be a heavy burden to carry and can cause unneeded stress. And that stress will manifest in your physical health, it'll manifest in your mental well-being, it'll manifest in your sense of fulfillment. So those are the three different ways that it'll manifest. And I've seen this in my own life, because I am a Type 9. I've avoided confrontation with myself because I didn't want to face certain truths. And by doing so, I ended up hurting myself in the long run. And so what would happen is these unresolved issues would linger, and they would cause more harm than if I had just addressed them head on. The moment that became really important to me was when facing the truth just became undeniable for me. Like when I realized that I was sugarcoating my own feelings just to avoid this conflict. So in trying to keep a false sense of peace, I was sacrificing my own emotional well-being. And it was a wake-up call. It's one that started to force me to reevaluate my approach to life. So I learned that facing the truth doesn't necessarily mean always like conflict or confrontation. It could just mean being honest with yourself. It can mean just being brave enough to have those difficult conversations with yourself, even though they are uncomfortable. It also means being willing to listen to yourself, even when the truth is hard to accept. So in the end, it's all about finding a balance between peace and honesty. So as type 9s, we don't have to choose between being a peacemaker. You can have both. And that's the key to building a strong, authentic sense of self. So moving forward, I really want to touch on different types. And I want to know about, avoiding conflict and confrontation within oneself, trying to keep the peace isn't just a 9 trait. It can extend to any type. So if you have your own experiences with this, share it in the comment section below and let's have a conversation about it.